everybody. Hey, happy Labor Day weekend. I am so thrilled that so many of you have been able to get on this Saturday morning training, and we got a real treat for you today. So much is going on behind the scenes at the company. I was surprised to see the company just said something great is coming. Jeremy just put up that visual on that, and I'm going, what on earth is the company up to? But we've got many exciting things. A couple of weeks ago, we had Kat on talking about blockchain and different opportunities, and Scotty suggested to her that she should focus a little more on the Cirrus opportunity. All I'm going to say, more to come. Okay, I'm not stealing any of the company's thunder, which I probably just did a tiny bit, but nevertheless. But guys, I want you to know, I asked Scotty to do the training this week, totally forgetting it was Labor Day weekend. But we always do a call every Saturday despite holidays because we like to touch in with you guys one way or the other. And I've known Scott. How long have we known each other, Scotty?
I think we met in late 1992, Steve.
Oh my gosh. Think about this now. What is that? 30.
It was down in Fort Lauderdale at Rexall, at the Rexall office down, I think it was late 92 or early 93, somewhere
So we're
right there.
talking like 38 years ago. We were both 14. That was
Yeah,
that's pretty interesting, when you think about that. But
right.
wow, you know what? That is pretty amazing. Anyway, Scotty, I've had the pleasure of knowing Scotty, think about that, for decades, literal decades. And he has built massive organizations in multiple different companies. I thought I was kidding Gordon that I thought I was the only guy to do that, but apparently Scotty's done the exact same thing. We've been on the same trail, guys, and here we are again, together again, doing something great. And I've always admired Scotty, and especially his trainings, because when you have groups of over 100,000 people in your organization, it means you're doing something right. And to have somebody like Scotty involved with us here at Cirrus, with his track record, with his pedigree, with his success that he's had in all these different companies throughout all these years, it's been a real pleasure. So there is nobody, I think, that could be better to be on the training call this morning. And we're so grateful to have leaders like Scotty. When I hear Scotty Merker's name, by the way, I got to just tell a funny story. I heard that another leader of a different company was going down to visit Scotty in Louisville, Kentucky to recruit him. This is a true story. Gordon will vouch for me because I told Gordon, I said, I got to get on the phone. I got to get Scotty Merker. If I don't get Scotty Merker, this other person's going to get Scotty Merker. And when I called Scotty, he goes, yeah, I'm right here, right now, ready to go. This other opportunity is right here. And I go, don't sign anything. Wait until I have an opportunity to tell you about this. And basically, he said something to the effect of, Steve, because it's you, I'll give you that opportunity. So I could not be happier to be involved with the likes of Scotty and Jeremy and Gordon. And oh man, I'm going to get in trouble already. So with that, I'm going to just let Scotty hang on here. I'm going to put you full screen here, Scotty. There you go, brother. And I'm just going to turn it over to you. And thank you very much for doing this training today. And I'm so glad you're so excited about this. So over to you, brother. And thanks for your words to Kat. I think it kind of, did some good things. She is so excited. Well, I'm not saying anything. Never mind. Yeah, that's right. That's right.
No, hey Steve, thank you so much, brother. And man, it's hard to believe going all the way back to the early 90s. And but there's the value of maintaining friendships, treating people right. You don't always have to be connected. Heck, you don't even have to talk for years. but there's mutual respect and love and caring because people are treated right. And really that's one of the things our industry is all about. And for everybody on here, first off, man, great day. Happy Labor Day. I put this picture up for a reason because we all know catch the wave. We've read the books, we've heard that, we've said that. And I don't know if you're in a position where you need another wave. If you're not, congratulations, you're truly one of the few. You might just want another wave, which I get it. Maybe you need another wave, but what I do believe that we have in front of us, regardless of where you are, it has the ability to be the last wave anyone ever needs to catch. If all of us, and that is from the owners and the executives to customer support to the least of us that do the least, but all of us together, if we do this right, because a force is so much bigger than a company or a product or a compensation plan are at play right now, unlike anything we've ever seen. This literally can be the last wave anybody ever needs to catch. And that's one of the things that excites me. And I can tell you, if it's done right, it could be a wave that it never hits shore. It continues to roll, and we can ride until we hit our shore, which is when we leave this place. So I'm going to dive right in, guys. I'll put the share screen on. First, just want to say thank you guys for being here today. And let me like to block that thing, get the good view going. So we have, there we go. Just have that. Hopefully, I'll pull this out of the way. Hopefully, that's not blocking. And I just want to say welcome, guys. I don't care who has built a bigger team, a smaller team. A lot of times that's just the luck of the draw. I do know that leadership that rises to a really high level, there's a lot of things you do have to do. And you do have to work very, very smart. There's a difference in hard and smart work. It's not the amount of time, but it's what you're doing with that time. And a lot of it's luck of the draw. Do you hit the right company at the right time? How many times have we had amazing leaders that have everything they need and they've even proven in the past, but the company they hit doesn't make it? That's happened to a lot of us. So the ability to make those teams big, I think everybody has the ability. Most people on this call probably have the skill set that they need, the drive, the desire. Maybe just hadn't had the opportunity to find the right company at the right time. But regardless of where that is, I believe we are at that place right now. But every time, everybody's time's equally as valuable. Where you've had a team of 100 people, 1,000 people, 100,000 people or more, everybody's time is equal. Nobody's above anybody else. And I want to start off with where I always like to start off with, guys. One of my favorite sayings is you don't need eyes to see, you need vision. I'm going to ask you to have some vision here. I can tell you for me, and the only thing I know how to do is talk with people like I would want somebody to talk to me. And that's what I've done my entire life because that's what I can relate to. And that's what we all kind of can relate to. I don't like to talk at people and I don't like to talk to people in a way that I think they want to be talked to. I just like to talk with people the way I want somebody to talk with me. And I'm kind of a visionary, but guess what? I said no to Bitcoin when it was less than $1. So how good of a visionary am I, right? Maybe not that great. But here's what helps me with vision. What helps me with vision is being able to have validation and verification. Those are the things that give me the ability to have vision. I'd like to say I've got massive vision, but validation and verification give me vision. But the thing I always start with, and it's very important because I believe that you take a look at when you're with people, what is it that you desire to achieve? And I know back in the early 1990s, got a chance to meet a guy by the name of Tom McCarthy, and he was running the Robbins Research Institute, was Tony Robbins' company. And he really took a liking to me and my business partner at the time. He became our personal coach, and then he started becoming the coach for our entire team. And then we started doing our events, and we had Tony Robbins' sound and lighting crew and facilitation crew doing our own team events because the company we were with didn't do enough events. And we knew the importance of events. And so we had these amazing events. And what he taught me, many things, which really is what Tony teaches as well. And I've done the entire Mastery University. So it's amazing is that you want to be able to give as much value as you possibly can. You don't know who's going to receive it. You don't know how they're going to receive it. But if you go in with the intention of not talking to or talking at, but talking with from a standpoint of how can I add as much value as I can based on what I have inside of me. If you do that, you should always feel great about what you do because that's all you can do. And all you can do, kind of like A.L. Williams, Art Williams, all you can do is all you can do. And you know what? All you can do is enough. And I love that saying. It's one of my favorite ones. So I'm just hoping to do that today. And I hope that you, in turn, will do the same for people that you talk with. I want to ask you right now, as we sit here on Labor Day weekend, how do you feel right now? How do you feel right now? And I know that when you bring a group of people together, and even though we're the small, the few, the proud, the mighty this morning, it could be anywhere. You could be elated. It's a holiday weekend. I'm excited. Football, college football, I'm actually going to the game right after this, the Louisville game, you know, or you might be in a place where maybe there's some anxiety, maybe some stress, maybe even some depression, which by the way, guess what? I've dealt with that in my life. I get it. You might just be ecstatic because of what we have in front of us for business, but how are you feeling right now? And then I want you to think about, what are you thinking right now? What are you thinking right now? Are you thinking, man, I hope he goes fast because I want to get out of here and watch Ohio State. They're on right now, you know? Or are you thinking, man, I know he knows a lot about these industries. I'm hoping he shares some things that maybe can help me know a little bit more. It's amazing where we all can be because we can all be in a different place. But I'm going to tell you, if you focus on how you feel first, and for the ladies that are with us, you guys are great at this. Women are the best at feeling. They focus on how they feel. Anytime a situation comes up, you'll always hear them talking in terms of feeling. And there's some men that do that as well, but men in general, we're the ones that we hear something and instantly, we got to fix it. We got to find the solution because we're think first. And I'm not going to get into a training on why that is, but it is. It's not 100%. But guess what? We can cultivate the feeling. We can cultivate the ability to come from a place of feeling. And the bottom line is, physiologically, there's a reason why we should. Women have got it, man. And the men who've got this, they've tapped in. Your heart communicates twice as much with your brain as your brain does with your heart. So if you'll start to learn to lean into that, you're going to find that life, and guess what? Business is part of life, right? Is all going to be a lot better. So now, let's start talking about you really quick here. You and your loved ones. I want you to take a look at where you were 5 years ago, right before COVID hit, and where you are today, right now. Are you in the same place? Are you ahead? Are you behind? If you're ahead, congratulations, you're less than 1% of the world. 1% of the world and a few percent of the United States. So you've done something that most haven't. And the interesting thing is, most people that say they're ahead, if you look at it based on pure numbers on the financial side, they're not ahead. They've lost. But here's the beautiful thing. Just like reading a book, when you finish a chapter, that chapter is done. Finished, finito. You are done. It's closed. You move on to the next chapter. And today, right now, starts our next chapter. So I do want you to think about where you want to be in 5 years and beyond. And then I want to ask you, when you achieve that, because I believe with what we're doing here, we can all achieve that. How's that going to make you feel? You're going to be happy. You're going to be full of joy. You're going to be full of gratitude. How are you going to be feeling? See, it's like a muscle, which mine's not that big, but I do work it out. Like a muscle, getting into this feeling aspect is so critical because that's really what our business is all about, guys. That's what separates us from every other industry out there. This is the most heartfelt, loving, feeling business model I've ever seen. It's the closest thing I've ever seen to church, and in some ways, to me, it's even better than church. Not that it has anything to do with my belief or spirituality, but there's not this overriding type of thing that ties us all together in that same realm. So I want you to be thinking about that. And I want you to ask yourself, is now, right now, because I mean, we're literally getting ready to turn this thing on. I mean, now I know it's on, but it's not really on yet. I mean, it hasn't started. Is now, right now, are you truly in that place where you know it's your time? Because guess what? It can be anyone's time. The reason I say that is because something is happening right now that has only happened a few times in history. And if you look at most of the greatest names of families that have created wealth, you'll find if you look at the inception of what they started that led to the wealth they created, you will find that there's a convergence of trends that were taking place that were so significantly bigger than just the industry they got involved with, because it was the entire global movement that was taking place, or many times in that case it was a national movement, but it was multiple factors, the economic factors, the psychological factors of what was going on that put them in a position to do what they did. If they had done it 5 or 10 years earlier, they would not have created the wealth they created. If they did 5 or 10 years later, they would not have created the wealth they created. It was that timing was perfect, but it was bigger than just what they were and what they were doing. And right now, these are trends that are right here in front of us. The huge economic need of almost everybody on the planet. Home-based business needs evolution and it's evolving. Membership economy, most people don't even know it's an economy. AI, more change in the next 4.5 years than any time in the history of humankind. Crypto exploding. Majority of people don't even understand it. Even the people that are in 90+% couldn't tell you much about it. They just don't, they got FOMO. They don't want to miss out. The bottom one, guys, this is happening all around the world, and you've seen it over the last year or so. People are tired, they're sick and tired, they're coming together. They want more, they know there's more, and they want it. They want to be together, they want to connect. This is all happening, and this is all beneficial if you know how to harness it. So the next wave is here, guys. It really is. More people globally in the next 2 to 5 years are going to need a way to make money than any time in history. Why? Number one, mainly because of AI. Don't be afraid of it, although most of us are in some ways. Don't be afraid of it, but it is going to displace more people. I mean, it's doing it right now. It's going to displace. I could do literally a 3 or 4 hour training just on AI, and many people would be scared, and rightfully so. But it's also going to be creating a lot of opportunity. And guess what? We're one of the ones that has an opportunity that can harness AI. Oh, sorry. And then also, looking at this real quick on that very first one, is this is something most people aren't aware of. You look at a dollar you earn today and understand that compared to 1950, it only has 7% of the value. It's lost 93% of the value. So here's the thing, what I mentioned earlier, when people look at where they are today and they say, yeah, I'm pretty much the same or maybe a little ahead. If you factor the economics in, not just the feeling, but the economics, guess what happens? No, they're not. Because my question is, with your investments and or with your work and your income, have you had as much or more as the inflation rate, the cost of living rate? And most people have not. So even though you may have a little more money, maybe you're making a little more income, maybe both, but it hasn't kept up. You've actually fallen behind. Almost everybody, less than 1% of the world is ahead. Most people have fallen behind. Second one, let's take a look at our industry. The old model is broke. I mean, actually, it's dying, guys. It's actually dying. Old school is out. What is old school? Old school is owners and leaders and executives not being honest with the field, not telling the truth, doing all kinds of things, manipulating things for the few at the expense of the masses. Taking products that you buy for $5 and selling them for 50, 60, $70 just to pay a compensation plan. Saying you're going to pay 45% and paying 33%. Saying you're going to pay 50, 60, 70%, but then using BV and all kinds of breakage to pay 42%. I mean, all the crap that so many people are tired of, it's out. If we started a company like that today, other than if we found some kind of breakthrough, and I'm not talking about a berry that grows on the east side of a hill and gets 3 hours of sunlight at the perfect temperature and you need to take it in a juice, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about legitimately, they say you could be on your deathbed and you're taking your last breath within 30 minutes, but if you take this product, 100% guaranteed you're living another 20 years and you're going to be youthful and vibrant again. So other than that, the ability to mark a product up 10 times and market it, it's gone. But there are people still trying it. It blows me away that they can be so archaic in their thinking. But guess what? New school is in, and that's what we are. We're new school. So there is an answer, guys. It's a new day and it's a new way. And we have it. We have it right here. Let's take a look at the membership economy that most people don't even know it's an economy in and to itself. I want to ask you a question. How many of these do you have? So first thing I'm going to ask you is how many of you said no to him before you said yes? I fought Costco forever. Why do I want to go to a stupid big warehouse and buy 20 rolls of toilet paper? I don't need to do that. Amazon Prime, I am not paying money to join something so I can get something 2 or 3 days earlier. I can wait. I don't need that. Netflix, I'm not going to pay for that. I mean, I've got cable TV. Spotify, why do I want to pay for music? Hulu, same thing. Direct TV, I fought cable early on. I've got 3 channels. It's enough. And you know what? 5 of them I have every single month. Hulu is on and off based on what I need. But why are we seeing so much of this? I've got a membership, guys, to my car wash. Why? Because I will get my car washed a few times a month, sometimes more, depending on the time of the year. And I either do the $15 or $20 wash. They got a $34 a month wash. So guess what? They're happy. They're making money no matter how many times I go through. It's good for them. And it's good for me because I'm saving money. Even on 2 washes at 20 a piece, I'm saving $6. So it's good for me. So when it's good for the business owner and the consumer, guess what? There's value there. And when there's value, what do you have? The number one thing that we hate that we don't have in network marketing is declining faster and faster every year, retention. Retention sucks in network marketing. Excuse my French, but it does. It's been going down and the membership economy is going up. And that's easy for me to say, but let's look at numbers. Costco, 83 to 24, which is the last year we have numbers for, 41 years, almost 130 million members in only 14 countries. Imagine if they were in 100 countries. But here's the bigger thing, 91% retention. Have you ever been in a network marketing company that had 91% retention? I kind of say that rhetorically because, man, how cool would that be, right? We've never had that, not even close. I think the industry average is about 12 to 15% at the end of the year. Amazon Prime. Now, I know Amazon started in the 90s, but Prime started in '05. 19 years, 230 million members in 23 countries, 93% retention. But here's the interesting thing. What's happening in today's world, everything's speeding up. Penetration, market adoption, market acceptance is growing at such a faster rate. Because look at Netflix, it started in 2007. They've got more than 2.5 times almost number of the members of Costco at 301 million members. And Spotify started a year later. They've got 696 million members, three times as many as Amazon Prime. Why? First off, they've got monthly, not annual memberships. So you have it month to month. If you like it, you keep it. If you don't, you don't. The price quality ratio is there, which is people get the value. But here's the interesting thing. We're talking about hundreds of millions of people. And how did most of them join? Word of mouth. They advertise some, but over 90% of the members of all of these membership organizations, they got it from word of mouth. So let's take a look at another one, AI. Guess what? We're in AI. How do you feel about AI? There's two ends of the spectrum when I talk to people. One, they feel like I'm in Terminator and that shiny metal guy that melts and comes back to life. He's going to come and get me. And guess what? I know Arnold Schwarzenegger. He's a real person. He's not a Terminator. I don't have a shot. I don't know where to run. I can't hide. Do I go to Patagonia and hide in the mountains? I am doomed. I'm done. I'm cooked. I'm finished. What am I going to do? On the other end, people are saying, my gosh, this is going to make my life so much easier. It's going to do things that I'm doing now. It's going to save me time. It's going to help me with my business. I can actually make more money, be more productive in the same amount of hours. And if it saves me time, I don't even have to work as many hours, but I can make more with less hours. I'm excited. But if you're like most people, you're kind of on the whole continuum. You're like, I'm a little afraid over here, but I'm super excited here. And it depends on what I'm talking about. And you're like most people, but since we're talking about business, let's look at facts. AI revenue this year is projected to be $391 billion. That's a huge industry. Matter of fact, 391 billion is bigger than most MLM's products or services that we join throughout our career as an entire industry. But that's today. By 2030, it's going to be $15.7 trillion. Never in the history of business has an industry grown in 4.5 years at such a pace. But here's the interesting thing. Let's put it in context. In network marketing, we're always talking about numbers, right? More than any industry I've ever seen. And so when we look at this, it's sometimes we talk numbers so much we don't slow down to really feel the impact of what this means. To put it in perspective, do you put oil in your car, in your engine? Unless you have an electric car, I guess you don't. Do you put gas in your car? Even if you're using electricity, there's oil and gas or something being used to produce the energy. Of course, we all use that. The oil and gas industry, very old, been around for decades, multiple decades. This year, we'll do about $4.5 trillion. So we're literally talking about in 4.5 years being 3 times as big as the global oil and gas industry that's been around for decades. That's what we're talking about, guys. This is what we have the ability to harness. Let's talk about crypto. Crypto is one of the most interesting things because number one, it's the second multi-trillion dollar year industry. It's the only thing that I've ever seen that so many people are in that really can't tell you much about how it works. They don't really understand much about it, but they know they want to be in and they know they don't want to miss out. But here's the numbers. And this is a wide range of people from major groups that do economic forecasting, companies, companies that are the biggest companies in the world, like BlackRock and Fidelity and Goldman Sachs. I mean, Magellan. These companies have teams of analysts that in many cases are bigger than the entire employee base of an entire company. And no matter who you talk to, they all say the same thing. By 2030, they see this on the low side being 16 trillion. The high side on, and it's really more the average, they're saying 30 to 40 trillion. Some say as much as 90 plus trillion by 2030. So put it in perspective. If you look at the entire stock market for NASDAQ and New York Stock Exchange, and if you take every company on both exchanges, combine them, Exchanges have been around for 170 plus years now. The combined net worth of all those companies is $64 trillion. And we're talking about doing more than 50% in the next 4.5 years than what that industry has done in over 170 years. Guess what? We're in the crypto business too. And we got to talk about the grand innate rising in people worldwide, people. My gosh. Let me ask you when you see this, look right in the very middle. Look at the chains broken and the birds flying to the sun. This is one of my favorite pictures of all time. And I just want to ask you a question. If you talk to everybody you know, family, friends, neighbors, work associates, whoever it may be, friends at church, friends on a sports team, pickleball friends, whatever it is that you do. And if you said, listen, if money were no issue, would you prefer to have your own business when you can work when you want, how you want, as many or as few hours as you want, totally 100% under your ability to say, I want to work today or not, and how much or not? Or even if money was no object, would you prefer to have a job where they said Monday through Friday, you need to be there at 8 and you can't leave to 5? Which one do you prefer? Well, I think we all know the answer. It's kind of a rhetorical question. Everybody given the opportunity to want freedom, but most people don't believe it's possible. And that's why they say, well, that's stupid. I can't do that. But guess what? It's a new day. And we do have the ability to do that. Let me ask you a question. Do you feel you're more educated today than you were years ago? Do you feel more knowledgeable, more enlightened? Do you feel like you're more in the know? We all are. You know why? Because we're more connected. We're more connected than we've ever been. And so we have the ability to harness this. We have the knowledge. And the bottom line is growth is what creates wealth if you have the knowledge of it. And guess what? Now we have the knowledge. Just what you've learned here today, you know more than probably 98. Well, on the global scale, you know more than just these facts here alone. You now know more than 99% of the people in the world. It's pretty amazing when you stop to think about it. A lot of people will say, well, yeah, I've heard of AI, I know AI, crypto, I know it. You know more about what's going on with the convergence of these trends than 99% of the world. And guess what? Let's talk about it. Here we are, the first real world products and services on a layer one blockchain. There's only a handful of layer one blockchains. Out of almost 50,000 crypto related projects, there's roughly a little over 30 layer one blockchains that are up and fully genesis where blocks are being put into the chain. And guess what? Think about the beginning. Isn't it interesting how things come back around? What did Amway start with? They started with SA8 and LLC. What were those? Cleaning products. And then they expanded more cleaning products. And they expanded into nutritional products and skincare products and cosmetics. And yes, you can get refrigerators and tires and all kinds of things, but most of their product sales are the Amway products, and they're things that people use every single day. And they talked about replacement. Just replace what you have in your home. Heck, people at Amway meetings would go to in-homes and people's homes that they were doing in-homes for, and they would go into their cabinets and they would go in to go use the bathroom. And if it was a non-Amway product, they put little stickers on them so that when people went back to their bathroom after everybody left, they'd see that they had been they had been stickered, like you're not using Amway, you got an Amway, you got an Amway, you got an Amway. Nope, 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 nope. And so really that's where they started. And it's interesting because without them, we wouldn't be here today. But guess what we get to do? We get to do what Amway hasn't been able to do, but following the same model. We get to take products that people use every day anyway. Safe, secure storage. If people don't have it, it's because they don't understand what's going on with their data. We can give more for less than anybody else out there. Streaming TV. I'm looking at my TV over there, and I've got Uverse, and I've got Netflix, and I've got a bunch of them. Guess what? We're going to have something to replace that, and I can't wait to replace it. Even if it's the same price, which I know it's not, I'm going to save money, but I'm replacing. And then satellite phone. I currently use AT&T. I can't wait to see our satellite phone. And travel. I travel right now, and our travel is going to be as good as anybody's out there. And guess what? If somebody has one for a few dollars less, the next time ours is a few dollars less. But in the ballpark, we're going to be as good as anybody out there. Physical products I hear potentially can come down the road as well. Nodes, of course. And let's see, did I forget something? What's in the middle? I mean, let's just call it what it is. We all know we're more excited about that than anything that we're bringing to market. And we're excited about them all. But just like Amway has hundreds, if not thousands of products, we have the ability to have so many things that anybody would want, but it's things people are using, but we're not marking it up 8 to 10 times to pay a compensation plan because we're giving rewards in what? This is an AI product right in the middle. What did we just talk about? AI. When you use it, what are you going to get? Crypto, two biggest industries that we talked about. guys, for the first time in the history of MLM, not just one, but two multi-trillion dollar industries. None of those companies, the only company on there that had anything even remotely similar, and it was still significantly smaller, was Excel, because telecommunications, when they started, was a $100 billion a year industry. And yes, I know that was 88. Don't know what it means today, but the only one that was even remotely close to that. Well, guess what? Who's going to be the first 100 million member network in the history of MLM? Just say you heard it here first. It's going to be us. It's going to be the Cirrus Network. You can literally mark it down, write it down, say that you heard it here today on Labor Day weekend. We will be the first 100 million member network. And I believe if we do everything right, from Craig and Bob to us doing our part too, I believe in 5 to 7 years globally with these products and services coming out, we can have 5 to 7 years, have 100 million members. Now, how are we going to do it? We all have to do our part. We all have to share, and we have to share worldwide. So bottom line is, it's a moment's decision. Your destiny is determined. It's a Tony Robbins statement. It's one of my favorite ones. I believe this is one of all of our moments, but it's the decision that we make that's going to determine it. And I'm going to wrap up on these 2 points: gratitude, appreciation, thankfulness, and love. I've dedicated my life to trying to do the best I can and try to be courteous to people and be real and nice with people. I focus on these things. And I just want to ask you, what are you feeling that Cirrus is bringing to you? Are you feeling gratitude for having this opportunity? Are you appreciative of the people bringing it? Are you thankful that you're one of the ones that was called? And of course, if you have those, then you also have love in your heart. And I know I feel them all. I feel them all. And I'm going to wrap up on this by saying that I remember when I first was exposed to the industry, I think it was 35 years ago, 36 years ago now. My brother joined Amway and he gave me a Tim Foley tape. It's called Where Will You Be in 5 Years? Where will you be in 5 years? And if you've ever heard that tape, you know why I said it twice, because he said it twice. And that's the first time I learned the power of repeating something to get people's attention. And when I heard that and I heard the concept, I thought it was the most ingenious concept. Now, I joined inside it with my brother, but I never sponsored anybody. I didn't build it. But I dug into those tapes, every one I could listen to. And the ones that really, so if Tim Foley's tape in the meetings I went to start was the hook, what solidified the fact that I wanted to be in this industry was two different couples that I heard. And it was Jerry and Sherry Meadows, and it was Billy and Peggy Florence. And I mean, I was impressed by all of them. But the thing that I saw there for the first time is I saw the ability to have a business where the family, it wasn't a family business like owning a trucking company, a plumbing company, or a retail store or a restaurant. It was the ability to have your business as your life and your life as your business. No different than, even though we're spending time right now, my personal religious beliefs, my spiritual beliefs are mine. They're not without me right now. It's just I'm focused on us right now. My family means as much to me as they always do. I'm just not focused on them in this moment. My wellness, my recreation. I'm going to the football game later, but I'm focused on our business now. So business is my life and my life is my business, just like my family is my life and my life is my family. And so I saw for the first time, literally for the first time, where through this industry, you could have a husband and wife, you could have partners, you could have kids, grandkids, grandparents, you could have families truly working in a business where it was 100% for the ones that got it. It was about helping other people achieve. And Steve, I got to say, you and Malin, it's kind of a thing you don't see as much anymore. But you guys are just like Billy and Peggy. You guys are just like all the great couples, just like all the great couples in this industry. And so, first off, thank you for thinking of me. I appreciate you thinking of me. I'm grateful that you thought of me. And I love you and Malin so much. And for everybody else that's on here, guys, I can't wait to get to know many of you that I don't know. Some of you get to know more. Just want to thank everybody for taking time on a weekend to be here. And let's just go out there and let's make this the first $100 million member company in the history of the industry. So, Steve, back to you, brother.
Thank you very much, Scotty. That was incredible. I love it. Hang on here. Let me just do this. Um, by the way, who are the Cards playing today?
Oh, we play Eastern Kentucky. We didn't get a chance to get a big one scheduled, so it's a small game, but still a game.
All right, all right. Well, hey, how I know that they're called the Cards. How's that?
You
You
knew it.
you gotta be a college football fan for that.
That's right. That's
Yeah.
right.
And a lot of people don't know who Lee Corso is. But I want you to know that we're all big college football fans in this house. But
Awesome.
guys, what a great training from Scotty. I'm not going to add anything to it because I don't want to steal from the excitement of that presentation. That was wonderful, Scotty. And some point, Gordon's always telling me at some point, a year from now, a year and a half from now, we're going to be looking back going, do you remember when we heard about this and how lucky we are? And that's exactly where we are. So, Scotty, love you too, brother, and appreciate you. Appreciate all of you guys for being on this weekend. Even though I'm going to watch TV, and I've always told people in our business when they're working, I go, look, there's no PV in TV. There's no personal volume in TV. For the first time ever, there's going to be PV in TV. So, we're going to go do that, and I can't wait. So, guys, have a great Labor Day weekend with your families. And, we'll look forward to staying tuned to whatever the company's got. They've got a lot of great things going. And have yourself a great Labor Day weekend. Thank you, Scotty. Appreciate you all.
Have a great weekend, everybody.